Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to March is Reading Month. Well, it's my favorite month of the year because I love to read. And I used to be a teacher and a speech therapist, and I worked in schools for almost 40 years. But now I'm what you called retired. And I have two granddaughters. One is 6 years old and in kindergarten, and one is 3 and in preschool. And I love to read to them. And I'm so happy to be here with you today and read to you. So today we've got a great book. It's about a lady named Amelia Bedelia. Now, Amelia Bedelia has a job and she works as a maid. A maid is someone who helps out in someone else's house. They might do some cooking or some cleaning or help watch the children. And in this story, Amelia Bedelia begins by speaking with her employer, the person who she works for. Her name is Mrs. Rogers. The name of the book is Amelia Bedelia and the Baby. And it's written by Peggy Parrish, and the illustrator, the person who drew the pictures, her name is Lynn Sweet. Mrs. Rogers is asking Amelia Bedelia to babysit for one of her friends. But Mrs. Rogers, said Amelia Bedelia, I don't know a thing about babies. How can I babysit? Why, Amelia Bedelia, said Mrs. Rogers, you are very good with children. Yes, said Amelia Bedelia, I get along fine with children. Babies are children too, said Mrs. Rogers. Well, if you say so, said Amelia Bedelia. Now you run along, said Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Lane is waiting. So Amelia Bedelia ran to Mrs. Lane's house. She knocked on the door. Do come in, said Mrs. Lane. I'm already late. Here is your list. I hope I didn't forget anything, but you will know what to do. I will, said Amelia Bedelia. I gave Missy her lunch, said Mrs. Lane. She is in her playpen. Mrs. Lane laughed. How about that, said Amelia Bedelia. Babies are kept in pens. Amelia found Missy. Hi, Missy, she said. Missy looked at Amelia Bedelia and began to cry. Oh, said Amelia Bedelia. What should I do? What does the list say? Amelia Bedelia read, give Missy a bottle. She hurried to the kitchen, then she stopped. That can't be right. Babies shouldn't have bottles. They could break. She thought a bit. I know, she said, I can give her a can or maybe a box. Missy howled louder. I'll give her both, said Amelia Bedelia, and she did. Missy picked up the can and she threw it. She picked up the box and she threw that. And she cried. All right, said Amelia Bedelia, I'll find something else. She gave Missy one thing after another, but Missy just howled. Maybe you are hungry, said Amelia Bedelia. I'll get you a cookie. And she ran to the kitchen and the back door opened. Anybody home? Called Mrs. Carter. I'm here, said Amelia Bedelia. Here are some strawberries, said Mrs. Carter. I hear Missy. Why is she crying? Beats me, said Amelia Bedelia. I'm at my wit's end. Have you given her a bottle? Said Mrs. Carter. A bottle, said Amelia Bedelia. Certainly not. I think that's what she wants, said Mrs. Carter. I will fix one for her. You put the strawberries in something else. I need my basket. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. Soon Mrs. Carter said, the bottle is ready. Good, said Amelia Bedelia. Here is your basket. And Mrs. Carter left. Amelia Bedelia looked at the bottle. Always something new, she said. This bottle won't break. It's just fine for babies. And she gave the bottle to Missy, and Missy stopped crying. Oh, I'm glad to know about those bottles, said Amelia Bedelia. They do shush babies up. Missy finished her bottle. Amelia Bedelia looked at the list. Good, she said. You get a bath now. I know about that. Amelia Bedelia got everything ready and she put Missy in the tub. And soon Missy was all clean. That's done, said Amelia Bedelia. Back into your pen you go. Amelia Bedelia got the list and she read, be sure to use baby powder. And she found the powder. And Amelia Bedelia used it. She put it all over herself, not the baby. My, I smell good, she said. That was nice of Mrs. Lane. Now what else does she want me to do? And she looked at the list. From 2 until 3 is nap time. She shook her head. No, I won't do it. I won't take a nap. I hate naps. Amelia Bedelia thought a bit, and then she said, I know, those strawberries. I will make a surprise. I do make good strawberry tarts. And tarts are a kind of a small pie. Yum. So she started for the kitchen. First, I'll see what Missy is doing. And she went to the playpen. I bet you can guess what the baby's doing. How about that? She likes naps. Well, she can take mine from me. I've got better things to do. So she went to the kitchen and she put some of this and a little of that into a bowl, and she mixed and soon her tarts were made. Oh, those do look pretty, she said. They do. Yum. She put the tarts away and Missy began to cry. Missy is awake, said Amelia Bedelia. Let me see what I should do. Oh, it says to give her a mashed banana. Oh, that will be easy. And she got a banana and she mashed it. This is fun, said Amelia Bedelia, but I better give it to Missy. Well, she's mashing a banana in its peel. Missy took the banana, she looked at it, and she mashed it too. Only she mashed it harder and harder, and the banana popped, and it squirted all over Missy. Missy clapped her hands, and she ate the squishy banana. Amelia Bedelia laughed. I never saw anything like that before, but she had fun, and it was her banana. Then Missy began to fuss. Well, I can forget the list for now, said Amelia Bedelia. I know what you need. You need another bath. So Missy got another bath. Babies do need a lot of washing, said Amelia Bedelia, and she dressed Missy. Now, back to the list, she said. Put Missy in her stroller, she read. And so she did that. Then she read, but first, put a sweater on her. So she took Missy out of the stroller. Oh, your mama should have said that first, said Amelia Bedelia. And she put a sweater on Missy. Back in you go. She looked at the list again. Tarnation! Your mama can't make up her mind. Now she says to take you out for a while. So Amelia Bedelia took Missy out of the stroller. In and out, in and out, in and out. I am plumb tired. Amelia Bedelia put Missy in her playpen. She looked at the list. You must be out for good now, she said. It says it's playtime until 5 o'clock. Now that is a treat. I don't get to play much. Amelia Bedelia looked around. Now, what shall I play with? She saw Missy's toy box. Look at all those toys. She sat down and she began to play. She played first with one toy and then another. Oh, what fun. I wish I had toys like this. Missy began to fuss. Amelia Bedelia looked at her watch. Shoot, she said, it's 5 o'clock. Playtime's over. And she put away the toys. Then she looked at the list. It's time for your supper. The list says, I should give you some baby food. She went to the kitchen. Amelia Bedelia put Missy in her chair. She took off Missy's sweater and then she read from the list. Don't forget to put on Missy's bib. Amelia Bedelia found the bib. Oh, that's plumb cute, she said. And Amelia Bedelia put the bib on. She put it on her, not the baby. Oh. Now, she said, I'll make your supper. Amelia Bedelia scurried around. She made baby hamburgers. She cooked baby potatoes and she sliced baby tomatoes. Oh, Amelia, that's not baby food. That is a good supper, said Amelia Bedelia, and she started to give it to Missy. Uh-oh, she said, the ketchup. I forgot the ketchup. She poured ketchup over everything. Oh, children do love ketchup, said Amelia Bedelia. She gave Missy her supper. Missy tasted it and smiled, and she ate it all. Amelia Bedelia laughed. You really liked that, and you will like this too. And Amelia Bedelia got a strawberry tart and gave it to her. Missy grabbed the tart and she ate all of that too. You are a mess, said Amelia Bedelia. You need washing again. Just then, Mr. and Mrs. Lane came home. My baby, said Mrs. Lane. What did you do to her? What is that red stuff? Red stuff, said Amelia Bedelia. Oh, it's some of the ketchup, she said. The rest is strawberries. Ketchup? Strawberries, said Mrs. Lane. Babies can't eat things like that. Oh, yes, she can, said Amelia Bedelia, and she loves them. Oh, why did I leave Missy with you, said Mrs. Lane. You don't know a thing about babies. Well, Mr. Lane ate one of those delicious strawberry tarts. Delicious, he said. Don't you ever. And then Mr. Lane put a strawberry tart in Mrs. Lane's mouth. Her mouth was full of strawberry tart. She said, my favorite. I'll tell you a secret. My favorite pie is strawberry pie too. Missy began to cry and Mrs. Lane went to her. But Missy wanted Amelia Bedelia. She never did that before, said Mr. Lane. Amelia Bedelia must know something we don't. I think she knows a lot, said Mrs. Lane. I'm sorry I got angry. Will you come again? I would love to, said Amelia Bedelia, but I have to go now. Amelia Bedelia walked home. I declare that was plumb fun. Babies are real people and I get along fine with them. And that's the end of Amelia Bedelia in the Baby. If you have time to talk to your teacher about it, I wonder how many mistakes you can find in Amelia Bedelia's thinking. She thought one thing, but what the ladies in the story meant, it was really a different thing. So I wonder how many of those you caught while you were listening to me read. You have a wonderful day and happy reading.